Bridezilla ruins her own wedding, demands bridal party pay her cancelled wedding. So you won't believe what happened with my friend Dana F29 and her wedding plans. She was all set to tie the knot with Josh M32 this past Sunday. We were all excited to see them start this new chapter together. Dana, who's still hitting the books with me in college, even invited a bunch of us from our college gang to be part of her bridal party. It was going to be such a special day with friends celebrating her love. But as luck would have it, things took a wild turn. The wedding ended up getting cancelled, and boy, did chaos ensue. From the get-go, this wedding seemed to be cursed with mishaps. We all hoped for the best, but it seemed like every twist and turn led to another disaster. Oh boy, where do I even start with a roller coaster that was Dana's wedding planning? Hold on to your hats, because here are some of the craziest moments we had to navigate. First off, Dana decided not to invite my best friend, even though they're supposed to be tight. Why? Because she thinks my bestie and I are more than just friends, like we're a couple. Let me set the record straight, we're not. It's just a weird assumption she had. Then came the dress debacle. Dana dragged us all to the dress fitting, only to reveal that each dress would cost us a whopping $2,000. Sure, I can swing that kind of cash, but buying a dress that expensive for a single event? No way. Some of the other bridesmaids were really stretched thin money-wise, so you can imagine the stress this caused. Oh, and get this, Josh wasn't allowed to invite any single female friends unless they were family. Any female friends he had were basically cut from the guest list. Talk about a strict rule. This one's a doozy. One of the girls in the bridal party doesn't drink due to her religious beliefs. When Dana found out, she jumped to the wildest conclusion and accused her of being pregnant, right in front of her parents. This poor girl had to deal with nearly getting kicked out of her own home. She handled it like a champ though, keeping her composure and never bad-mouthing Dana. She eventually dropped out of the bridal party, and we only found out about it practically on the day of the wedding. And let's not forget Dana's grand plan for a destination bachelorette party. She wanted us to ditch our families during the holidays to jet off with her. With my full-time job that doesn't even take a holiday break, I had to put my foot down. Thankfully, I wasn't alone. Most of the other bridesmaids said no way too. Dana eventually gave up on that idea. Believe it or not, these are just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the drama leading up to what was supposed to be Dana's big day. Trust me, there's plenty more where that came from. Alright, let's get into the juicy details of the wedding day, and trust me, it's a doozy. The morning kicked off on a seriously sour note. Dana was in full-blown panic mode, all because the flower girl had to cancel last minute. Why? Because she came down with chickenpox. You'd think Dana would be concerned about the little girl's health, but instead she was on the warpath. She was actually threatening to sue the flower girl's mom unless she brought the sick 3-year-old to the wedding. I mean, talk about misguided priorities. Luckily for everyone involved, Josh swooped in like a knight in shining armor. He managed to talk some sense into Dana and calm her down from her initial freak out. With that mini crisis settled for now at least, we finally got down to the business of getting ready for the wedding. Little did we know, this was just the tip of the iceberg for a day that would be anything but smooth sailing. Let me tell you, the drama didn't stop once the wedding day was underway. Nope, Dana was on a roll with her outburst from start to finish. She had folks in tears left and right, from the wedding staff to her own bridesmaids. Seriously, if there was ever an award for managing diplomacy and keeping a lid on bullshit, the maid of honor would have won it hands down. That poor soul had her work cut out for her, let me tell you. As for me, well, I took the scenic route to avoiding the Bridezilla meltdown zone. I busied myself with anything and everything that didn't involve being in the same room as Dana. Checking on the flowers, yup. Making sure the food was up to snuff, you betcha. Basically, I was the master of finding excuses to be anywhere but within earshot of Dana's latest tirade. Eventually though, even I couldn't avoid the inevitable. It was time for me to get my hair and makeup done. But just when we thought we were in the clear, Dana dropped the bombshell. She needed some alone time to decompress from all the stress. And let me tell you, none of us were about to argue with that request. I've never seen a group of women scatter faster than we did in that moment. With the wedding set to kick off in just 30 minutes, we figured Dana would be okay chilling by herself for a bit. I mean, how much trouble could she get into in half an hour, right? So I hunkered down in the chapel, passing the time scrolling through my phone and trying to keep my nerves in check. Just when I was starting to think we might actually make it through this day without another major hiccup, the maid of honor came rushing over to me with a look of utter disbelief on her face. She broke the news. The wedding was off. Yep, you heard that right. Cancelled. Naturally, I was stunned and had to ask what on earth had happened. Here's what the Mo told me. Dana was having a quickie with Josh's uncle. And get this, they were in one of the rooms when Josh walked in and caught them red-handed. I mean, talk about a jaw-dropping plot twist. Just when we thought we'd seen it all, Dana managed to pull off the ultimate shocker, leaving us all speechless and wondering what in the world would happen next. I must have looked like a deer caught in headlights when the maid of honor dropped that bombshell on me. My jaw was practically on the floor. The Mo had this urgent look in her eyes and told me to hightail it out of there, saying she was doing her best to evacuate as many people as possible before all hell broke loose. So without wasting another second, I grabbed my purse and rounded up the 2 bridesmaids who had carpooled with me. We made a beeline for the nearest exit, moving as if our lives depended on it. Trust me, we were out of there faster than you can say. Wedding disaster. Once we were safely outside, I checked in with the other bridesmaids to make sure everyone had managed to escape the chaos. Thankfully, we had all made it out unscathed. It was like something out of a movie, a crazy, unbelievable movie that you wouldn't believe unless you'd lived it yourself. And let me tell you, none of us could quite believe what had just gone down. Later that night, I couldn't resist calling up the maid of honor to get the full scoop on what had gone down. Let me tell you, the tea she spilled was scalding hot and hard to swallow. So here's the lowdown. Josh, understandably furious, had called off the wedding on the spot. He didn't mince words, letting Dana have it with both barrels. He even confronted his own uncle for his role in the whole mess. After that, he gathered up his mates and took off, presumably to drown his sorrows and hopefully have the epic single-man party he deserved. My heart really goes out to the guy. He's truly one of the good ones. But wait, there's more. Josh didn't stop at just calling off the wedding and giving Dana a piece of his mind. Oh no, he also dropped the bombshell that Dana would be footing the bill for all the cancellation fees. And get this, according to the Mo, Dana's own father didn't hold back either. He publicly called her out, saying she'd be paying those fees all on her own for her less than stellar behavior. Honestly, the whole situation is a complete and utter mess. It's like a soap opera, but sadly, it's real life for these poor folks. And as much as I hate to say it, Dana kind of brought it all on herself. Just when I thought I'd managed to distance myself from this whole circus, guess who decided to call me? Yep, Dana. And get this, she had the audacity to demand $5,000 from me to help cover her cancellation fees. Can you believe it? According to her, it was somehow our responsibility as the bridal party to foot the bill for her mess. I was floored. I didn't even hesitate to shut that down. I told her in no uncertain terms that there was no way I'd be giving her a dime. And I made it clear that she might as well delete my number from her phone because I wanted absolutely nothing to do with her moving forward. I mean, after everything that's happened, who could blame me? And I'm not the only one who feels this way. The rest of the bridesmaids and even the maid of honor, who, by the way, is Josh's older sister, have all pretty much had the same reaction. We're all completely done with Dana and her drama. It's like a united front of nope, not dealing with this anymore. Honestly, the whole situation is beyond belief. I never thought I'd find myself caught up in such a mess, but here we are. One thing's for sure though, I'm steering clear of Dana from now on, and I have a feeling I'm not the only one who feels that way. Update 1. 6 days later. I know there's been a lot of curiosity about what went down, so here's the latest. After catching up with Josh yesterday, he wanted me to pass along that he's doing okay. He's taking some time to sort through everything and is focused on moving forward. We're planning to stay friends with both him and his sister, the maid of honor, because, let's be honest, they're the ones who've really shown some class through all of this. As for Dana, well, let's just say she got the message loud and clear. She's been told in no uncertain terms that nobody in our group wants anything to do with her anymore. Since then, it's been pretty much crickets from her end. I guess she's finally getting the hint that her behavior has consequences. I wish I could spill the beans on what Josh's next moves are, but he's asked me to keep that under wraps for now. What I can tell you is that he got a kick out of some of your comments and really appreciates all the support he's been getting. It's been a tough time for him, but your kind words have helped lighten the mood a bit. So that's where things stand at the moment. As for the rest, well, only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, we're all rallying around Josh and his sister and leaving Dana and her drama in the rearview mirror where they belong. So I did manage to clear up one detail that had been bugging me, and I'm sure some of you too. About Josh's uncle, turns out he's actually the younger brother of Josh's mum, and he's 55. I had initially thought he'd married into the family, but I had that all mixed up. My bad on that front. But here's where it gets even more unsettling. The uncle has known Dana since she was a teenager. I mean, Dana and Josh have been high school sweethearts, so it's not like their families are complete strangers. But still, the whole thing just feels kinda icky knowing that this guy has known Dana since she was practically a kid. On a lighter note, if there's any silver lining to this whole debacle, it's that I scored a major haul of cake. Yep, you heard that right. Amidst all the chaos and drama, I managed to snag some seriously delicious cake. So hey, at least I got something sweet out of this mess, right? Every cloud has a silver lining, or in this case, a layer of frosting. Update 2, 2.5 months later. First things first, I've got some good news about Josh. He's doing a whole lot better these days. He's taken the big step of moving out and getting his own place, far away from all the drama with Dana. And get this, he's even got some of his closest mates as roommates, which I think is a great move. It's always good to have your buddies around when you're going through a tough time. On top of that, Josh has made the difficult decision to cut ties with his uncle. And he's not the only one. Most of his family has also decided to distance themselves from the uncle, given the role he played in everything. It's a tough situation, but sometimes you've got to make those hard choices for your own well-being. As for his love life, Josh is taking a bit of a break from dating for now. I mean, Dana was his first and only girlfriend for years, so this whole ordeal has hit him pretty hard. He knows he needs some time to heal and figure things out before jumping back into the dating scene. And honestly, I think that's a wise decision. Sometimes you've got to focus on yourself and heal before you can think about starting something new. Dana has really managed to burn all her bridges with my friends. I mean, she even tried to pull a fast one on one of them by showing up unannounced at 10 p.m., thinking she could just move in. Can you believe that? She tried to guilt trip her by saying, "You can't send me away this late at night." Talk about nerve. Thankfully, my friend stood her ground and sent Dana packing. As for where Dana's ended up, I couldn't tell you. But what I can say with absolute certainty is that she's in a world of trouble. She's facing not one, not two, but 4 lawsuits. Let's break it down. First, there's Josh's lawsuit, which is pretty much a given considering everything that's gone down. Then there's one from his sister, who's taking legal action to recoup the money she spent on those bridesmaid dresses. And let's not forget the bridesmaid Dana wrongly accused of being pregnant. She's suing too. But wait, there's more. Even Josh's uncle is taking Dana to court. Why, you ask? Because apparently Dana used his credit card without permission. Yeah, you heard that right. And get this, she apparently moved in with him after the wedding fiasco. Talk about adding insult to injury. So, to put it bluntly, Dana's in a pretty tight spot. With 4 lawsuits looming over her, she's got a long and bumpy legal road ahead. And honestly, given her track record, it's hard to muster up any sympathy for her. She's made her bed, and now she's got to lie in it, legally speaking, that is. Yep, Dana's really managed to mess things up for herself big time, and now she's finding herself pretty much on her own. I ran into Dana's parents not too long ago, and let me tell you, they're keeping their distance too. Since the wedding debacle, they haven't had any contact with her. In fact, they're packing up and moving to another state along with their other daughter, who's 22. It seems like they're trying to put some distance between themselves and all the drama. On the flip side, things have been looking up with Josh's sister. We've been hanging out quite a bit lately, and she's really clicked with my friends and me. She's become a part of our circle, and honestly, it feels like she's always been one of us. We're even planning a trip to Disney next year with her and her 7-year-old. How fun is that? And the best part, we all agreed to chip in on babysitting duties for her little one. We offered to help out, and she was totally cool about it. No arm twisting or guilt trips involved. So, while Dana's busy dealing with the fallout from her choices, the rest of us are moving on and building stronger bonds with the people who really matter. It's like they say, when one door closes, another one opens. And in this case, the door that's opened has led to some really great new friendships and adventures on the horizon.